What's up, guys? It's Shuja here. So this is the first video for Magic the Gathering Arena that's going to be on my YouTube channel. And this is going to be a deck tech, and I plan on doing a lot more of these in the future. So let's get right into it. So this is a deck that I brewed up to carry me through Diamond into Mythic with only about a day left, right? And it's been showing quite a performance over the past couple of hours. And again, this is something I brewed up in my head, and I was like, you know what, I'm missing land drops, things are coming to play tapped. So what I did is I wanted to relegate all of that, and what I ended up with was this mono blue deck, so eloquently put, catching a lick, or a lick if you will, means putting in some work. But yeah, the deck is low to the ground. So what the deck plans to do, it plans to get in early and then protect the creatures leading up to you basically going down to 0 life. Beautiful pool bag, if you will. Kind of reminiscent of the old school Delver deck when Innistrad first came out and Delver Seek was initially introduced to us. But if we just get into it. So first we have the Ascended Spirit, 1-drop, 4 of, well, we're using all Snowlands, by the way. And then we have Delver's Secret. You already know what he does. Turn 1, Delver. Turn 2, you got a 3/2 punching people in the face while they're still playing tap lands, or they just don't have a turn 1 or turn 2 removal spell for them. And then after that point, we have Fading Hope. Very good for also assisting the Delver and helping them to flip. Now, again, it kind of reminds you, if you guys remember, my Black-Green Elves deck. Another brainstorm that I did just to get to Diamond. That got me basically all the way from Bronze up until Diamond, that Black-Green Elves deck. And I'll actually leave a description down below just so you guys can see the video on that Black-Green Elves deck and just show you how it works, and maybe you want to play it. It's pretty competitive for rank. Traditional, it's like 50-50, but if you do best of 1, I promise you, you'll probably be winning about 85% of the time, because no one's expecting Elves to get bum rushed, you know? Now, moving forward, continuing with the deck, we have the Malevolent Hermit. Can't speak English, but we already know what this guy does. You'd play him turn 2, and then at that point in time, it's like, I dare you to play a Planeswalker. I dare you to play the Chariot. Because if you go first, you put this guy on the board, more than likely that Chariot's not going to be resolving, neither is the Planeswalker. Or the other little cantrips that's going on, especially in the blue-red deck. This guy's a menace. And then reject, again, Planeswalkers and creatures. This is what this format's about. There's werewolves, there's elves, and a whole lot of just debauchery just floating around. Reject handles that very well. Moving on, we have Divide by 0. This card is absolutely absurd. I can't even express how, pardon my language, fucked up this card is. Literally, spell or permanent, mana value 1 or greater, back to the owner's hand, and then you learn. Now, this card is really powerful for the fact that you don't even need to counter something. Like All-Around's Epiphany, I've had people All-Around's Epiphany, and I've just divided it by 0 because I know you had the counter spell. Or if we get into a counter war, it's like you counter, and it's like, you know what, just divide it by 0. My counter spell, and then counter your All-Around's Epiphany, you know? This card is just just perfect utility. Unfortunately, I couldn't fit 4. Maybe you guys can take the deck and maybe squeeze 4 in. Let me know. You can let me know in the comments down below. Then we have Saw It Coming, Foretell counterspell. It's pretty typical. Behold the Multiverse, Foretell, draw. You already know what this is. Memory Deluge, another broken card reminiscent of Dig Through Time for me. I can only imagine in Legacy or even Modern if you had Memory Deluge plus Dig Through Time plus Tasker, and that Garmag Angler, just absolute problem. Then, of course, I wanted a beat stick. Honestly, I was torn between Limrith and Alron. The simple fact, everything in my deck is an instant. Outside of the creatures, everything's an instant. And I was thinking Alron himself, because when Alron's on the board at the end step, you call a card type and you reveal the top 2 cards from your library. And if I call instance, more than likely I'm going to get an instance. How many we got in here? We got 19 instants and 3 sorceries. That all-around is really good. But just in my opinion, I think all-around can get killed very quickly. But I feel Limrith, the Desert Doom, he's just like, yo, he's a thick boy. He got a 5/5. He has a fat butt. And then when you factor in the ward, In addition to him, if you have 0 cards in your hand or less than 3 cards, you draw up to 3, whatever the difference is. Very powerful card. And it's a flyer, which most people can't really deal with in this format. You know, most things are on the ground, like the chariot bringing the cats. Only thing I can really think off the top of the head I can deal with flyers would be Ren and Seven's creature token based upon the lands, you know? But outside of that, nobody can really stop this guy when he hits the board. And then, of course, we have All-Around's Epiphany. Typical blue staple. And if you're in blue, most of the times you're going to have 4 copies of this. Unfortunately, I didn't want to play 4 copies because I wanted to squeeze that extra Limerith in. I probably could have chose something else, but I want to get in early game and just, you know, protect my creatures and just get things out of the way while I'm punching you in the head, you know? And then as far as our land counts, we have 2 Hall of the Storm Giants. Manland, really good. We have about 17 snow-covered islands, again, feeding into the snow synergy. And then, of course, we have more manlands. So instead of just putting 4 Hall of the Storm Giants, I decided to put 3 Faceless because these things have Vigilance, so I could always keep mana up. Because, again, in a blue deck, having untapped mana is very, very important. And this thing, it just comes up and just starts punching people in the face. It's wonderful. And you can use this mana, since it's colorless, you can use it to actually help foretell cards. And then, of course, 2 Field of Runes, because in a monocolored deck, why not? You know, you're going to be destroying other people's man lands. And to be honest with you, I initially had 4 Field of Runes in the deck, but then I realized on turn 1, I actually do want to have more blue lands versus a colorless. So this is how I've come down to this conclusion. Instead of 4, we have 2 Field of Runes. And as far as the sideboard, I don't think this deck really needs much assistance, but what I do have is I have 2 copies of Wizard class. When it comes in, no maximum hand size. And then the really important part to me is just if you basically start getting to the counter where you have no extra synergy, you're scared something's going to get countered. If you sneak this in turn 1 or turn 2, and then it's like, hey, I need to draw some cards that won't get countered, Wizard class is really good at just drawing you 2 free cards. Test of Talents, this card is absolutely bonkers. Pretty much reminiscent of Surgical Extraction, if you guys know what that card is. If you don't, make sure you look at it and let me know in the comments below whether you think Surgical Extraction should be brought back into standard. Next, we have Teacher of the Archaics. Again, just off of Divide by 0, we need some lessons to be targeting. We have 1 of this, just exile non-permanent. Do I like giving cards? No, but pretty effective. Fractal Summoning, very good for just putting a big token on the board should you need it. Again, Maddening Cacophony. The reason why I put this in here is because I really didn't feel like this deck really needs much support. And I feel like when you get into a long matchup, just milling half their deck and just throwing their resources in the graveyard and laughing at them. At least they can't see you, but you're gonna be smirking like, "Oh, you pretty." Was that your win condition? In the graveyard now. Good looking, you know. 2 negates just for the additional add-on. But I feel like the Test of Talents plus negates might be overkill. But in some matchups, you just need to remove some shit from the game. Catch my drift. And then, of course, Environmental Sciences and it's the 2nd copy of Introduction to Annihilation. All right. So this is pretty much the deck overview, and what I'll do is we'll get right into the game, okay? We're in game 1, so let's see how a game goes. So we're going to go first, and the deck does exactly what I want it to. I have a turn 1, and ideally a turn 2 drop right there. So I'll keep this, and we'll see what our opponent does. I don't know what we're up against, but that Garrick, I'm pretty sure he might be on some mono green or just some bestial deck that I don't really want to deal with. But the same thing, I'm playing a mono blue deck, so who am I to judge? Yep, down a green deck. Oh, I don't... World Tree. That's interesting. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start attacking. And we're going to, you know, just because we might need some resources, we're going to foretell this, hold the multiverse, and we're going to see what our opponent does. They play land tap. Okay, so let's... We might be expecting a removal spell here, but we're going to come in and swing in anyway. Anything? No? Pump? I think those life points super low, buddy. And we'll play this out. And again, I know there might be meat hooks in the immediate future, but that can't stop me because this deck has to be aggressive. We got a job to do, and it's to punch them in the face as quickly, as hard as possible. So we're going to attack here. And then we're going to be holding Multiverse because we need to hit our land drops. That's very important. As much as I'd like to keep this, let's just push this back because we do have All-Around's Epiphany in our hands. All right. Meat Hook for 2. I'm fine with that. I'll run the Delver out into this. If they have their second black source, they might be a Meat Hooks in the future, and we're okay with that. Because at least one of our creatures will survive, and it's forcing the Meat Hooks. And that just lets me know I have counter magic and fading just going ahead. And what you guys should also do is what I kind of do is, there we go, call the Meat Hooks. We saw that. We're perfectly okay with that. Now, what I usually do is I organize my hand just so I don't get things confused. I have it in mana order. So highest to lowest from right to left. We'll play this. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep some mana. We're going to actually keep the mana open at this point. Well, actually, let's actually do this, right? Let's be professional here. And let's attack for 2. Let's go. All right, so let's see what they got. If it's a Planeswalker, it's getting countered. If it's a creature, I might bounce it. Correction, all right. It can stay. What is he trying to do? Fight? Sure, I lose 1 life. Let's counter that. And this is the power of this deck, just getting in early and just abusing our opponent. And again, do I want to pump this up because we're missing our land drops, which I really don't like. 14, we can turn this to 4. We'll keep the counter, Matt. We'll keep the counters up. So we'll foretell Auron's Epiphany, and we'll say go. We know they might have a removal spell. We're fine with that. Ideally, we want them to just like hard cast a Planeswalker like Lolth and say, oops. Again, the power of getting in early. They're struggling just to get an answer on board. And most people, they think the answer is a Planeswalker, and we've capitalized on that. This is what this deck is trying to do. Just punish people just for, you know, being normal, you know? Not that anything's wrong with that, but sometimes you just gotta think outside the box and punch people in the face. Now there, I should have played Limerith, but I didn't because I'm expecting a board wipe of some sort to come out. Prosperous Innkeeper, that's fair. So they're probably going to try to exile it. And we already know the answer to that. We want to let this go. We can because we have Limerith. So let's let go. All right. We'll play this tap and we'll say, let's see if you can answer this. Again, I don't like tapping out because a Planeswalker or something bad might be coming. Yep. A Ren and 7 might be coming off the top. Not like we could have prevented this anyway. Double Chariot. So they're going to gain 12 life, I think. No, they're not going to gain 12 life. My mistake. They're going to go to 12. And we're fine with that because if we get a land, the game's... Oh, the game's ending. So 5, 10, 15, the game's ending. So what we're going to do is we're going to Auron's Epiphany right now. And we actually just might get a concession for game 1 here. All right, attack. And then we're also going to draw a card in addition to that. Hopefully we can hit a land just so we can hard cast this one. Land, please. It's not quite a land, but that's fine. They're dead next turn. They're dead this turn. So we swing in. Attack. And there we have it. Game 1. All right, so it's for sideboarding. Again, like I said, sideboarding is really... I don't want to say I'm being cocky about this, but what exactly do we need to put in? You know, reject for the Planeswalkers. This is typical. green X deck. We already know all the tricks they have inside here. And I think the deck handles it pretty well initially. So herein lies the conundrum with this deck. Maybe again, if you guys have a suggestion as far as what the sideboard should be, please let me know in the comments down below. But I don't think I'm really gonna side anything in, because we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna side in duresses. They're gonna basically try to go after our hand. Maybe some duresses might come in. Maybe I have no idea. I don't really care for green, unless they're elves. Unless they're elves. If they're elves, then I care. But as far as this is concerned, I'm really not just. I'm not worried about it. I figure they're gonna be on the play, and I think the same thing's gonna happen. They're gonna be forced to look for removal for the turn one creatures, and if they can't handle that, the game's gonna spiral out of control, because once my creatures get going, I have all the protection and interference that I need to make sure that you die. So let's see what this guy's got. This isn't ideal, but we have some interference. We can stop the chariot, we can stop the planeswalkers, and if there's any early game mana dorks, we can just flash it back to their hand and scry. Did I mention you can scry with this card? Card's really good. That's okay. That is an issue. I'm not gonna lie. That card is somewhat of an issue. Not going to try to downplay it. I am instant speed, as I mentioned before. This card is somewhat of an issue. But let's do this. And do we send this back to the hand? There might be a chariot coming, so let's just bounce that back just to like cause some form of interference. And we have another one, so we'll keep that because we have plenty of lands to do. Ooh, Paolo. Paolo's card is very good. The Elite Spellbinder. So this is made after Paolo Vito Rosa. Very good player. So we're going to play the Hermit out. And if we see a Chariot or a Planeswalker coming, you already know what we're doing to it. We're just going to activate the Hermit's effect, and it'll be countered. If I was him, I'd, bring it to level 2 and just call it a day and just start swinging in. Okay, we might be in a tad bit of trouble here depending on how the game develops. But for the only thing we can do is just keep playing with each other. Well, playing to the game, you know? So let's just end turn. But we may be in a tad bit of trouble here. Yikes. Well, before you do that, let's put that on top of put that back in your hand, please. And let me scry. That is wonderful. Attack. And Limerith. The Desert Doom! Yep. That's fine. Do you have an answer from Limerith? Limerith. I don't know why I keep saying Limerith. Okay, so they have double Paolo. That's their response to... Alright, we have nothing better to do, so let's just... We gotta press the advantage while we have it, right? All in. So either you take 6 or you double block. If I were you, I would double... Okay, you're not doing anything. I respect it. I respect it completely. Now, in this scenario, again, it's good because this would come back. So if this would divide by 0, I could still be able to do it and just whop that back to their hand. But we have Fading Hope, so this is good. So let's see what they have. If I'm guessing they might have Lolth, the Spider Queen. If they do, it's a minor impediment, but we can still deal with it. But I think we might have them dead to rights depending on where our next card is. Yep. Gonna pass turn. Sure, we'll take, was it get double strike? We'll take 8. We'll go to 8. Hopefully I don't mess up and like drop this game. Okay, so this is really good. So the only thing I'm actually really worried about right now is that they have the snake skin, which gives them +1/+1 counter, and it makes them hexproof. But what we gotta do here is the hermit is really good. For the simple fact of the matter is I don't want to sacrifice this, because what I want to do is I want to bounce the elite spellbinder, Paolo's card, and then what I'm going to do is if he has a rebuttal for that, I'm going to activate the Malevolent Hermit's effect, okay? So I think this game is pretty much in the bag, and we'll move on to match number 2. Bounce this. And if they have the... Okay, that's wonderful. We'll push you to the bottom. We don't need you right now. And I think we might get a concession here on the end step. Or not. So let's go to battle. Again, don't forget. 3. Nobody has reach over there, so let's come over here with Limerith and attack. And this should be game over. There we go. So we 2-0 match number 1, and there we go. I'll see you guys for match number 2. All right, and we're back for game 2. So let's see what our opponent's playing this time around. Hopefully they won't make us wait too long. Perfect. This hand is decent, not the best, but it's something, and we're on the draw, so hopefully we can draw one of our 1-drops. No go. That's fine. It looks like we might be playing a black-blue control deck. I've seen a few of these in climbing, so hopefully, okay. I guess it's a Grixis deck. Okay, let's see what we're gonna deal with. Right now I'm gonna run the Hermit out, because if he has a removal spell, he'll remove it. I'm gonna draw something out. Gotta get on the board early, you know? Egg. I have the egg. I think he's gonna kill it. He might Dragon Fire, whatever it's called. Or they might opt just to play the egg and leave 1 blue up. If I was him, I would definitely kill it, because like I mentioned before, this card's a menace. It's too big of a problem just to be left alone, if you will. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to leave our thought coming up. When we have more mana, that's when we'll bring this guy back. We really want him looking at the top 3 cards. No, let's counter that, because this is going to be a game of resources. So we already see they're missing mana. There we go. They didn't play a land, so they're definitely hurting for a land. And we're going to keep this up again. So we're going to see what happens. Because again, we don't have a creature, but we do have the advantage. We haven't missed our land drops yet. And if they have counter magic, we're going to draw it out with this Memory Deluge here. So you either use it, saw it coming. If this card isn't Alaron's Epiphany, it's definitely saw it coming. And unfortunately, that's unfortunate for them. That is really unfortunate. And again, we're just going to untap and jam. Yeah, we're going to jam Limerith. If they have it, they have it. If they don't, they don't. If they don't, then we're in a really good position here. And I think the game might be ending within a few turns from now. Yeah, that's see how powerful it was just by stopping the expressive iteration. This is what this deck is supposed to do outside of punching people in the face. So let's just go ahead and attack with Limerith. We know obviously once he untaps, he's no longer has ward, but we got to get in there. We got to try to end the game, you know? So this might be the opportunity that he was waiting for, but unfortunately for him, or her, or Mento, we have cards such as this. Now the question is, do we divide it by 0? And then will we bounce him back when he tries to do it on his main phase? Yeah, let's just bounce it back. And then we're going to learn, of course. And what we'll do is we're going to get teachings since they're not really playing their resources. So we'll play this. Boom, 5, draw a card. Counter magic. A land is good. And what we'll do is we'll play the Delver out as well, and we'll leave Fading Hope up. So, you know, we have something at least, you know? So ideally he'll try to do it again. And we're gonna Fading Hope. Limerith. We'll get it back to our hands, and hopefully our Delver will flip on the upkeep, which it does not. That's still good because we have the damage. Yep, perfect. We got a concession. That's wonderful. All right, so in this matchup, we're going to take the rejects out, even though we suspect there's going to be dragons in. But we want to protect ourselves more so than anything. So we're going to be bringing Test the Talents because this is another control mid-range-ish deck. And we're going to basically put the talents in. This way, whenever they cast a spell or instant or sorcery, if we manage to catch Expressive Iteration, that's going to hurt them a big deal. That's kind of like their 2-drop Ponder, if you will. So we're waiting. And again, I don't think anyone's playing mono blue outside of me. I'm a maniac. I'm always playing these off-kiltered Brood in my head decks. So we're going to see what happens in this one. But as you guys can see so far, the Dex is working out really well. All right, so we won on the draw, and I'm going to assume Fomento is also going to want to play again. So that means we'll get the extra card, and hopefully this time around we will get a Delver. I couldn't ask for a better hand. This is a wonderful opening hand. Now, obviously, they're going to have some 1-drop or maybe even 2-drop removals, and I'm fine with that. That's perfectly fine. If I was them, I'd get rid of the Behold the Multiverse because you don't want me drawing. That's an excellent choice. Get in there. And the best part about this deck is you think it's a really heavily controlled deck, which I guess it kind of is, but it's more of a tempo deck, if you will. So when they side in duresses, that means they're taking out, or maybe even the creature kill is suffering on their part. So we're just going to go ahead and jam that in. And we're going to play this, leaving the Fading Hope up. Because they already saw our hand. And we just revealed Auron's Epiphany to them. The only card they haven't seen is the Divide by 0. So, with that being said, we go Faceless Haven. And as I mentioned before in the deck tech, the Delvers would probably take us home right now. Does this pause? This is never a good sign with this pause right here. Kind of like they're conflicted on what they're going to do, or they're thinking really bad about their next move, and they know the Fading Hope is going to arrive. So it's kind of damned if you will, damned if you don't, you know? They probably have the Spire card. It's a 1-drop red that exiles a creature. Or you're going to have the Prismari command. How do I feel about letting my... I don't. I want to give it back. And this way I can also help transform this one. So we'll put this to the bottom. And we'll decline, unfortunately. But let's just get in there anyway. Hopefully we're not looking for like a meat hooks. That'd be really upsetting if I got hooked. But, you know, if we're going to get hooked, we might as well go all in, kind of. They did make a treasure, so I could expect the meat hook to be coming. So I'll just foretell this. And I'm pretty sure we may be encountering a meat hook here, especially if they're a Grixis deck. Or we might just see a Goldspan Dragon here. Okay, I was wrong. It's the Moonveil Regent. Reveal. Reveal. We don't have a land yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to divide this guy by 0. Only because we can go ahead and take the environmental science from us. And we'll attack in for 6. Dropping them to 10. And we still have our Fading Hope in our hand. Just to do the same thing all over again. So hopefully they do that. And, you know, we'll be one step closer to getting the W. Yep, so it seems like they're going to do the same thing, and this time they may have counter magic available. So let's just we're gonna go Fading Hope here. Put this right back in your hand. That's unfortunate for him. For them. Boom, boom. And let's just go like this. So we can ensure we get our land next turn. And we gain 2 life in the process. Now I'm gonna hold out on casting the Ascendant Spirit because I would like to actually have something to try to recover with, if you know. But at the same time, you know what? Let me just pause. Let's look at the board state. So we know if they meat hooks us for 2, they're gonna have 1, 2. They're gonna have probably 2 mana available. The odds of them being able to kill our Faceless Haven is really high. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold off on this because the Faceless Haven can maybe save us. So if they do the same thing again, which they may, we'll just activate the Faceless Haven and hopefully we can just take the game home. But we might actually catch an Alron's Epiphany here. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Okay, so the good thing here, as I mentioned before, is that Faceless Haven does not tap when it attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and animate this, and if they do something, I'm going to just Test of Talents it, okay? So let's just see what we got here. Activate this, and we may get a concession here. Attack. And we 2-0 them again. Alright guys, so we'll be back for game 3. Alright, and we are back for game 3. Here we go. Has a lot of gas, no land. This hand is pretty suspicious, but I will keep it just because we don't know what our opponent's playing here. So we'll keep the Hermit, divide by 0, and the Memory Deluge. Hopefully this will be enough protection and interference for us to do what we have to do. Oh, this is bad. If this is the aggro white weenie variant of the Cleric deck, we could be in some trouble here. Okay, it's the... Oh, Hermit. Hopefully they miss their land drop. Or they miss a land drop. No blocks. Play the Faceless Haven. Let's get that done. And we don't have to deal with counter magic, which is always a good thing. So, depending on how this works out, we may just bounce something, but I'm going to wait for maybe there may be an Archangel or Angel coming in some way, shape, or form. Oh boy, that's not... That's fine. Bounce, bounce. Well, gain. My mistake. One more life, and they are online. Looking very, very difficult. We might actually take our first loss here, depending on the circumstances. So let's block here. Block. And let us bounce. And then, of course, as what we do when we learn, we're going to go take Introduction to Annihilation. There's a lot of things that might pop up that we may not be able to deal with. Because we're blue, we don't have any board wipes. So we just gotta remove what we can while we can. Oh, counter magic, that's pretty good. We can take 4, 5, 6. It's gonna be a bit of a damage going on here. But we'll leave the land up. Maybe they'll be reluctant to actually go ahead and block that. We'll attack over so we can block. But if they're just going to play the land, they're gonna just play and end, or play and pass. My mistake. I wanted the Memory Deluge this turn, but someone's offering a creature up. You gotta take it. Yep. So we'll drop to 11 here. And we're basically going to go ahead and do... We'll move that guy from the game. Draw a card. And hopefully we get some sort of... something to stent the bleeding, if you will. Oh boy. And we also have to deal with their manland back there, the Cave of the Frost Dragon, so that's something to be concerned about. Maybe actually, we actually are in danger right now. Delver's on chump blocking duty right now. Ooh. Very nice. Yeah, so we're in danger. We are in danger. If they activate their manland, we're pretty much toast right now, I believe. Seven. Go to 1. Yeah, we go to 1. No, 2. Well, yeah, if they put the counter, yeah, put the counter there, then we go to... Precisely. So there's 2 things that I can do here. One is I can simply Faceless Haven and block a 3/3 that comes over, or I can Memory Deluge in hopes to get a card to bounce them. So I live another turn if I Faceless Haven block, but the odds of me drawing something, well, 2 creatures I have to do. All right, let's just go down that path, the path that leaves us the most survivability. Oops. We're leaving that in just to show you bad pilot errors. That was terrible, but that's what we call misplaying. You don't want to do that. You don't want to misplay, but I just misplayed that. So again, as far as just siding in, I really don't know what we can actually side in. So we'll just go ahead with it. But yeah, as far as the aggro decks or just creature decks like this, generally we want a better hand. So now that I know what I'm playing against, I know I can actually be a bit more aggressive when I mulligan. So that's what we'll do for this match. And the waiting. And the waiting. They're really going off. They're baffled. I can only try to surmise what they're thinking. They're like, this is a mono blue in ranked, traditional rank at that. What do I have to watch out for? And I can ask the same question, so we got to be careful. Play first. This is a very greedy hand, but I'm going to keep it. Delver out. And we'll see what happens. Flip. Reveal. Off we go. The races we go. Yeah, let's just get on board. If he has a kill spell, he has it. Play swamp, kill spell. Okay, that's fair. Don't have our land just yet, so let's just swing over. 15. Hopefully we can ride the Delver home. But I don't think that would be the case here. I take 3. I wish I had some of those. Oh, that's adorable. That's fine. Let's Fading Hope the Cleric of Life spawn, and let's just try to scry up a land. Let's push this guy to the bottom. And there's our land, folks. We're in business. We're coming over here. Attack you, please. Gonna take that. Please block. Please commit to the block. Well, actually, you're going to try to disturb and block the Delver damage, but that is fine. So now you have the option of trying to bring that guy back. Well, you can actually do both if you have a land, which you probably do. Just me, land screw. He'll play the flyer as well as the token. There we go. The opposite side of the cleric. Yep. What are we gonna do here? We're gonna just attack with the Delver. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna remove that or foretell that because we need land bad. Otherwise we may be overwhelmed pretty soon. Especially with the pyre on board. Okay, pretty good. Let us behold the multiverse. Ooh. I'm gonna keep the Fading Hope on top because we're gonna definitely have to remove some of these flyers so we can just gotta kill them. And the greed got punished. We'll pass turn. And we'll throw Memory Deluge in the bin. And then if I don't get a land next turn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy all of my Delvers. And hopefully they flip so we can take the advantage this way. But now we got ourselves an old Texas showdown. Okay, so we just wait to see what our opponents do. It looks like they're going to try to kill something. And they look at our hand, they're like, this Huge is mad. Huge is a madman. What do you take here? So what you take here is either the Fading Hope, because, yep, that's good. Or you take the Limroth, I was going to say. But based on my mana constraints, that was definitely the right move to make. Now the question is whether you're going to attack or not. That's the true question that we have to actually look out for. Okay, so we're getting a 2-drop battlefield. It's probably going to be the cleric who gives the +1 counters, or the Cleric of Life Bond. That works. Oh, they're going to try to run me over. I go to 11. All right, Delvers. All the Delvers are out then. Now watch me go land. Getting spicy, man. This is getting real spicy, guy. Another one. Another one. Oh, man. We just start chump blocking that? I think we just start blocking and hope we get something done. I take 6, we'll double block here. Need to get one of his guys off the board before they get way too big. Uh-oh, they have remove a spell. Or do they? Okay, that's fair. And they're probably going to... I don't know what I'd take here. The Hermit. I'd probably take the Hermit. I'd take the Hermit. The Hermit seems reasonable. Yeah, that seems... Yeah, that's reasonable. Reveal. Reveal. This is so awful. They know everything in my hand. And there's kind of no point in attacking right now. So let's foretell this, because that might actually help us a few turns from now. And our Delvers aren't being used to turn sideways. We're basically using them as... Oh boy. We're using our Delver as blockers right now. That doesn't feel good either. We'll block one. We'll block that and go to one. Oh, that's bad. See, that was a gritty keep, but in hindsight, they had flyers, so we're being stonewalled by that big butt angel. But that was my fault. That was pilot error. I kept a greedy hand. All right, we're just gonna concede here. So good game, heads or tails. All right, good game. Okay, so our first loss. So right now our record stands at 2-1. All right, and we're back for match number 4. Okay, so we're going to be on the draw this time, and we'll be a bit more mindful of keeping reckless hand. Oh, you know what? I'm going to keep this just because I don't want to lose the advantage. Because we're supposed to be demonstrating what the deck does. So let's mulligan. There we go. So we'll send you back, and we'll send you back. And we'll do this. Ooh. Oh, it's vampires. Let's leave with the Hall, and then the Delver. And hopefully the Delver doesn't get killed immediately, which I suspect it would. Red-white pyres. I like it so far. Another one. I am not blocking. Delver flip. Yay. And we'll attack him for 3. We'll get rid of this. And we'll see what happens next turn. Pretty good card, I guess, for draft-ish. That was mean. But it's interesting. I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. Either they're mulling over the fact that they don't have a kill spell for the Delver, or they're just plotting how to do the most damage, which I suspect it's probably going to be the latter. That's a good card. A very good card. Now, for those of you who don't know what this card does, if this thing lands attack, so first it has vigilance and trample, but whenever it deals damage, so however much damage was dealt to the opponent, it can bring back a creature of that converted mana cost or less. Which, if I was to kill these guys, if it hits me for 1, it'll bring these guys back. Really good card. Nice and aggressive. I like it. Back. And what we'll do is, we'll run the Hermit out. Just so we have another flyer, because I think this game might get really racy. And the Hermit's not going to be blocking the Stingers. It's going to be saving the Delver. That's what it's going to be doing. Yep. It's a race, it's a race. And what I'll do is I'm going to Memory Deluge. Or I could foretell. Yeah, let's do that. Let's optimize, because we're not dead just yet. And Beholding the Multiverse, I don't know. I feel like it's the same Memory Deluge, but just actually visibly seeing 2 and picking 2. Versus seeing 2 and then just magically drawing into the other 2. We'll figure it out. But for now, we're going to 7. Unless they have the pump spell. Pumping. Okay, 4. Going to 4. 5. I can't add. It's late night, guys. Forgive me. Okay, that helps. That definitely helps. How much? I'm unsure, though. But we gotta keep turning sideways. Go. Counter magic. No, let's just say go. Organize our hand. Yep. Can you double pump? I don't think you can. But if you do pump, I'm bouncing something back to your hand. Pass. I would pump just to make sure. Alright, so that tells me they don't have a burn spell. They might have a pump spell, though. I divide that by 0. And let's get the environmental science, just because it's going to let us gain a life. Or we can just hard cast. Oh, we can't hard cast Auron's Epiphany just yet. We'll go environmental science here. Take this into life. We'll bring this guy back. And we're officially on blocking duty, I think. Hopefully we can survive the turn. And then I'll just Auron's Epiphany and see if we can pull a rabbit out of our hat. Because you can't play the game of Magic with 0 life. Unless, of course, you're doing poison. Or you have Phyrexian Unlife. Ooh. Well, that's a good card for us. Because we're going to wipe his stuff. Because Double Strike is just first strike that just attacks twice. So these guys will trade over here. Good for us. We're going to go Auron's Epiphany. Okay. See, that land is going to be an issue. So the Cave of the Frost Dragon, I think it takes 4 to activate. So, ideally what I would want to do is activate Hall of the Storm Giants. And then just smash over and attack them. But, I think we can do it. 5, 6. No, so what we'll do is we'll take the safe route. We have a counter spell right here. So we'll go attack with 1 bird. We'll play this. And we'll hope for the best. because we have 6 mana, 2 for Saw It Coming, counter that, and then we still have enough for Memory Deluge. We are absolutely blocking with this guy. Or we can block with the bird and deal 3 and hope for something. So, you know what? Let's block with the bird. 3 damage. Yeah, he's dead. We got him dead to rights, guys. Yep. We'll Memory Deluge. 1 and 2. And you play a land, activate this guy over here, and then we go swinging for the fences. And we take game 1. Alright, so again, I'm not really going to be sideboarding anything, but what I'll do is I'll just play around over here for a bit. So wizard class, milling. I really have no idea why I put this in here. I said to like mill half their deck and their win cons, yes, but does it help? Oh, it's more of like a dirtle, haha, gotcha. I'm still gonna win. It's kind of like, it feels cocky almost, but let's get started. Get some water for you guys. There we go. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep going over. Really goosey. What do you have in your mouth? What you doing? Sorry, guys. Got somebody bothering me over here. All right, so this opening was pretty good. Can't complain about it. No blocks. And we're just gonna go attack. Hermit. Okay. No blocks. And we'll go swinging in. This time we're gonna pump. Why? Because the Hermit's on board and the Hermit's gonna protect us. So if they cast anything that's not like that, for example, Hermit says no to that. He really is such a menace. This card is such a menace. It really is. We're going to attack. 3. I don't think they have any removal spells, but I just feel more comfortable leaving up counter magic. That makes sense. But I also don't want to lose 2 damage here. We'll just keep it back. Leave it as is. Okay. We knew something was coming. Wasn't quite expecting that. But that's fine. What you have for main phase 2? Your foretelling. Is that a Doom Scar? I have no idea. Let's go attack. Pump. Take 6. Draw. Play this spirit. Okay, you definitely have something. If that was a Doom Scar, you can't cast it now. Because that's unfortunately a tap land. That was really unfortunate. If I was them, I'd be upset. If you have a Doom Scar, like if this is Doom Scar right here, and you foretell it for the lesser cost, and you draw a tapped white source, that must feel miserable. That's why I switched to mono blue. Catching licks. What will you? I will not block. Pump. You do that. Would it benefit you? No. Play land. We're gonna go to combat. And we're gonna go attack. And we'll see what this foretold card is. 4. Do I have to fully pump you? 5. I do not. But what we will do is we'll let that go. Boom. And then we'll put some more counters on this guy. Boom. And that's the really good thing about the Ascended Spirit. You can activate that last ability several times just to put the counters on it. All right, and we're back for game 5. Cutting out all that waiting time. All right, so we're gonna play first. And we have a desirable hand. I mean, I prefer one more land, but we have counter magic. We have a Delver, so we'll keep this and we'll get straight into it. Hopefully we can go 4-1. 4-1 would be a nice record, you know. I think that loss could have been prevented, and we could have made to game 3 if I didn't take a greedy hand. 1 mana hands in Magic are bad. Here we go. Let's run this out. And hopefully Fleet flips on upkeep without any resistance from our opponent. It does not. That's unfortunate. Let's attack in for 1. Mana, and we will throw the Hermit out. We want to get damage on board. That's why I didn't foretell the see it coming. Lotus Cobra. Okay. Decline. This is good. This is good. This is good. If they decide to try to play a Chariot, the Hermit's there. If they do, we can divide anything. Basically, we're dividing anything. We either counter or divide it by 0. So let's come over here and let's just attack. Let's see if he's willing to block, or PDX Wolf is willing to block with their creatures. I didn't think they were. They're probably trying to build up for a Chariot. Maybe they forgot what the Hermit does. Or they're going for something else entirely, because I don't know. I can only speculate. A second Cobra. Let's counter that. And if you want to race, let's race. Flip Delver? No. I'm fine, but I'm fine with mana. I'm fine with drawing lands. We need mana. Pass. There you go. What you got for me? What you got for me? Or are you just gonna like burn the mana because you don't have anything? The Chariot, I figured. You know, so here's an interesting situation, right? So a part of me wants to divide this Chariot by 0 and then learn, or I could just use the Hermit, but I kind of prefer to keep the damage on the board. So I think I might just divide this by 0 and get greedy. I don't know if I want the Delver to flip, you know? I'm going to divide it by 0. This might be a greedy play, but I'm going to do it. And we'll get the teachings because they have more lands, cards in hand than us. Flip? No flip of the Delver. Yikes. Alright, so now we know that they're probably going to block now. So let's get rid of this. And no, we're not going to do that. We'll send the Delver over. And if they fight us, I'm going to be really upset here because that would just probably just be my play, my misplay. Or they just didn't draw the land. But if they have a fight card, this is going to be really awkward. Finally. Okay. So I can go for a tell. Alright, let's just attack. Take 3. Go to 9. I'm going to foretell this. And then a part of me wants to just go teachings, but I don't want to risk I don't want to risk not drawing a land. So we'll just leave it like that. We'll say go. Because the chariot is like what they want. The chariot's their end game. Or Ren and 7 maybe even. But it seems like they're having like mana issues right now. Yep. I take it. Well, actually, let me behold the multiverse. Because we might draw a card we like. Okay. That's not particularly what we want. But it could help, but not in the scenario we want. And we take 6, go to 10. Yeah, I would use the token and look for land. Or you play the pack leader, that works too. Okay, so I think the game's over now. Attack. Alron's Epiphany. Play this. Attack, attack, attack. Oh, perhaps I should have activated the Faceless Haven, but overzealous mistake, possibly. We don't know that just yet, but we're gonna go Hermit. Hermit. And we're gonna pass turn. They have no choice but to try and kill us this turn. And we get a concession, that's good. Again, not particularly sure what I'm supposed to be taking out here. We know that they may put the snakeskin veil or snakeskin card in. Get some hexproof +1/+1 counter on target creature. But I don't really see that not as something we can handle. Negate. Yeah, I just don't think we need help with anything. The deck, because most decks, they're trying to play cards and get something onto the board. Our deck is just, I don't think many decks can interfere with our strategy. Because at the end of the day, our strategy is just to simply get a creature on the board, either turn 1 or turn 2, and then punch them in the face while protecting that creature. Because that creature is going to be basically saying, hey, you have 5 turns left to live. Or you have 6 turns left to live, depending on the damage or the creature in question. And they know that. So what they'll start to try to do is they become more worried about killing this creature rather than trying to do what their deck does, you know? So instead of trying to implement their own strategy, they've now become obsessed with trying to stop ours. And they pay the price because we have tools that stop their interaction with our cards, you know? Now, this, again, is another greedy hand. This is actually the one that we lost with. We can go Delver turn 1. But, again, they're on the draw, so let's just look for something else. That's sus as hell. We're going to mulligan again. I'll keep Deluge. The odds of Ren and 7 coming out, or even a creature, Planeswalker. It's tough. The reason why I keep the creatures is because I want to chump blockers and recurring threats, but what I'll do is I'll do this. We don't know what we don't know what their opening hand is. They took a mulligan as well. But we have our Delver, so that's really good. I like that draw. Creature. Got it. Flip? No flip. That's fine. We won't attack. We'll play this guy to the board, and we'll let you become the aggressor that you are. No blocks. Now, what we could have did there is we could have double blocked that, but I didn't do that, so that's a tactical mistake on my part. Sorry, guys, it's getting late. We will pass turn. We should have double blocked and killed that thing. I was gonna draw a card. Another question here is, are we still the aggro deck here? Given the circumstances, I would say I think it's time to start chump blocking. Snakeskin Veil. Thinking about it. Yep, that's a really good card. Their deck is going off. Let's stop that. Okay, we need something. That's not particularly something, but nothing either. I mean, if I live long enough, because I can take 8 damage here. Pump, pump, pump. Yeah, no, I think we actually lose this game. Especially if they have the fight card, we lose this game here. Let's block. Let's not block. Because you might have a chariot. And I don't want the chariot to come out. Okay, that's not. Yeah, I'm just dead here, I think. Nope, we gotta keep playing. We gotta keep playing. Oh, he's gonna give his guy trample. We're dead. Watch him pump. If he pumps this, then we're dead. Okay, he doesn't. Surprised. Talked a little. Okay, okay. More creatures means we're probably more dead. Okay, good game. We'll go to match 3. We'll count to 4, then we'll just press OK. Gotta make them think we're sideboarding something. 1. We'll go in at 204. Submit. Seems like they're sideboarding for the draw. Okay, here we go. Powerful game 3. Well, game 3. Match 5. Okay. We will keep this. Not quite Delver. Not quite Delver. Ascendant Spirits. It just takes some time to build up to it, but it's fine. We still love you all the same. Alright, we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to foretell this instead of upgrading it, because we don't know if the next card is land or not, and we want to hit our lands. Okay, this is good. And we know they're not going to trade this, so we'll attack over. Go 1, we'll go 2, and we're going to pump this. And what we're also going to do is we're going to bounce this now because they may have a snakeskin veil on their upkeep. So we're going to bounce this. We don't want to get blown out. And that's a land. That's perfect. We'll keep that on top. Because right now our strategy is just to simply upgrade our guy as much as possible. And we don't have to worry about a chariot coming out this turn. So that's good. Double snake. Alright, here we go. Upgrade. Attack for 4. Here we go. Yep. Is there a world in which we lose this game? Because there's a 5-drop enchantment, I believe it is. I think it costs 5 mana. And it doubles the attack of all creatures. The possibility of that happening it's not 0, but that is something that I am concerned about. So I think here I'm going to not do 6 damage to them. See, because I'm trying to kill them, right? But they're trying to kill me as well. So I think here I'm going to attack just for 4 here. And there's no reason to get entirely reckless because we can always draw on their step. So if they have a fight card, we can try to counter it with the Hermit. But if they do have a fight card, we're in trouble, you know? Sure, that's okay. We will go like this. But he's going to chariot, I think. Well, it's too late now. Okay, that's not as bad as I initially thought. But we're still in danger. I think the divide by 0 should save us. Hopefully. At least I'm being optimistic here. This is getting very dangerous. Especially, again, if they have the snakeskin veil. We are in trouble. Yep. Hopefully they do something main phase 1. I'd prefer if they did that. Rather than them just trying to kill me now. Okay, that's awkward. Well, at least they can't pump, right? This is 7, 8, 9. But again, if he has snakeskin, I'm in trouble. So it's fine. Let's just see what happens here. Because I can go to 1 without it so much as an issue, you know? I can go to 1 damage. That's fine. I feel like this is a trap. Well, if we make it to end phase, we'll just upgrade the Ascendant Spirit to 6/6, or we might get a concession here. What are you planning? Yeah, that was fine. And the game's over. back. And we win it. So the deck is, yeah. There we go. So the deck is officially 4-1. And that 4-1 is actually very questionable because on my end, it was a pilot error. I kept a greedy hand, you know? So as far as my ending thoughts on this deck, as I've said, it's very potent at what it does. It gets on the board, and I feel like there's really nothing that I need to side in against other decks. So guys, if you have any ideas for the sideboard, please comment down below and let me know which you would put into the deck. But outside of that, if you enjoy these types of videos, please be sure to like the video, comment down below, and also, if you could, subscribe to me. And also, go ahead and follow me on Twitch. I generally stream during the mornings, most weekdays. But outside of that, take care. See you in the next video.